What's going on, guys? I'm Josh here, and today I am going to be building myself a router for my network. The reason why is because my current router, Frontier router, pretty typical, comes in everyone's houses. I was having some issues with it with the new network stuff that I've been releasing. It's been like my slowdown part where sometimes it'll lag out whenever I want to get to a website or something. This was the last thing I planned to upgrade. I didn't want to upgrade my router first. I wanted to do it last because I wanted to get my Wi-Fi faster first, which I've done, and now my switch, I have all that stuff, that's all good. But now my router is my slow point in my network, so I need to get that upgraded. So hence this computer that I'm going to be building. And if some of you guys don't know this, PFsense. You can buy a router at a store, but what some people like to do, and some enthusiasts like to do, is they like to build a PFsense box. And that is a small, low-power computer that is capable of running a BSD Linux distribution called PFsense, and what it can do is it can basically function as a normal router with extra functions, plugins, and allow you to do some really cool stuff like squid proxy caching and stuff like that. So this is a computer I've chosen. Some of the parts I've already had from a previous server. Other parts I've just bought. As you can tell, the parts that are in box I've bought. Starting with the motherboard. This is an Asus AM1MA motherboard. It's an AM1 motherboard. When I bought it, it only cost $30, so I didn't even know you can get a motherboard for that cheap. I had the CPU on it. It's a Sempron 2650 from AMD. It's a dual-core 1.45 gigahertz CPU. It's very inexpensive. It's only like $20 on Amazon. I used this system a long time ago when I was first starting my server project before I got any sort of way better gear. I now have a Core 2 Quad Q9550 in that system, so that it can handle video processing a lot better. But this motherboard's really good. I mean, for a router, essentially, routers, essentially, they're basically low-powered computers. They don't really have any performance in them. They don't have anything, and it's basically a low-powered computer, essentially. So, they don't have to do that much. So essentially, I'm building a low-powered computer, but it's still way faster than those routers. This is a 1.45 gigahertz CPU, the dual core. And, most routers I assemble into, they usually have like 600 megahertz single core CPUs, and they're not even x86, so they can't even do like the computational processes that this thing can do. So it's a very capable computer, and it's, kind of like the ideal system for home use, for like pro home use. RAM. This RAM is like the cheapest RAM I can get. I got this when I was using my server. Because when I was running my server, all I was running was like a few programs like FileZilla, FTP, and the Unified controller. So I didn't really need that much performance. So I only had a 2 gig stick of DDR3 RAM. And let me go ahead and pop this back in there. And as for other hardware, for my hard drive, I was going to use an SSD. I just didn't get it for some reason. I don't know why. I had the money for it, I just didn't buy it, but whatever. I'm going to go with a hard drive for now. I can just always put in the SSD and reinstall PFsense. It's not that hard for me. Oh, 250 gig, sorry. It's 250 gig hard drive. It's an old hard drive. I just happen to have it. It's good, it works, and it doesn't have any bad sectors or anything. Say the cable. These. I didn't want to use the onboard chipset because I figured it's pretty cheap. It's a pretty cheap motherboard, so I figured it would probably be really bad. So I actually ordered some Intel Gigabit NICs. I think these are like the server ones, but the better look right there. These are basically, PCI Express NICs. I figure that they're probably a lot better than the ones that are on this computer. I just kind of ordered them. Put them down. For the case, I actually ordered this case on accident. I ordered this in November. It's a Rosewell FBM01. It's a very cheap case. $24, I believe it was the price. Super cheap case, very simple, easy to build, and whenever I have people that want to build a computer for the first time, this is usually the case I choose. Power supply. I was going to go for the EVGA 500 watt, just a regular 80 plus one, but for some reason that was more expensive than this one. This is the 450 BT. I use the 450B in my server. I've never used the BT before. The BT, it's the same thing as the B, except it has black cables, and it's cheaper, which makes no sense to me, but I guess you guys can figure out why it's cheaper. But other than that, I mean, I guess let's build this computer. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on the build. I've already built the motherboard. This was just because I already have it assembled, and I don't feel like redoing the thermal paste just because of the video. I don't have any thermal paste, so I don't feel like buying it. But, let's get to the case now because the motherboard's already assembled. And I guess I'll talk to you guys about what I plan to do. So, with this server, what I want to do, it's not a server, it's a router, different thing. Well, technically it is a server, in a sense, because the definition of a server is a computer that's handing tasks to other computers, providing tasks. That's technically what this is doing. This is providing internet, so it's a server basically. The reason why I wanted to go for PFsense instead of going for like a Unify USG or something, which I actually said I was going to do in my Unify UAP AC Pro review, but those things, they're not really that advanced. They do basic tasks. I mean, they can do the basic router stuff, and I can just get like a cheap Linksys router, and it'll do the same thing as that Unify controller router. The only thing that the Unify controller has an edge on it for is it has DPI, so deep packet inspection. But yet this computer has features like this computer can cache websites, which is one of the things I really want to try out. It's the coolest thing ever. Put these small pieces back in. Like, that sounds really cool. I really want to try that out. Let's go see how I open this up. Oops. I am really not that, I guess, caring for stuff like this. I won't remove the wrap yet. I don't do that stuff yet. I will do it later. But, you can go for the regular router route, but this PFsense thing has some really cool features. You can do firewall, you can do like advanced firewall routing. You can have like a little you can block certain like anti-malware and stuff like that. This thing just has some really cool features. Oh, it's nice inside. I like this thing. It's really cool. Now, oh, I see it. It's like all munched together. Who does this? It's just all in one bag. Oh my god. Sorry, I had to readjust the framing, so pardon me for that, but anyway, let's continue. If I was cutting out anything, I'm sorry. But here, like, who does this though? It's all munched together. Like, I don't know which is which. God, my build time's gonna be so slow because of this. So I need. Okay. Yeah. We're all good. All is well, guys. All is well. Do they even include like a standoff tool or something? No, they don't. Wow, these things are just not great. Man, I thought they had like a little like stripped bag thing, but no, they put it all together. Strangest thing ever. And the thing was just dangling. I have to look at this. I don't know. I know. Being I've been building computers since I was third grade, so I should really know this stuff, but I don't. Because I am a professional not. That made no sense at all. I should really just stop talking and build this computer. I actually had a video I was going to make. I was making a Unify overview video for the Unify controller. I actually talked about that in my channel update video. But I actually just canceled that video because it did not turn out the way I wanted it to. I didn't like it. It just had no value in terms of education. because it wasn't really like kind of targeting one specific section. It was kind of like trying to hit all, but then like, you know, you kind of failed in the process of trying to do that, and there's like a twist tie that's just dangling here. Very interesting. But that video, it just didn't turn out the way I liked it to. I wanted it to be more educational value than it originally had. And it wasn't really helpful, so I kind of like canned that video. And I still have all the video for it, so I guess I can still edit it. I have it partially edited already. I just kind of, you know, looked at it in the middle of editing it, and I was just like, it doesn't work out, you know. I'll try to go back into that and try to do better the next time I do that. But, you know, it just didn't turn out the way I wanted to at the time, and I'll see if I can make a better one that actually has more educational value. And I was about to make a very novice mistake by forgetting the IO shield. Don't forget the IO shield. God, I hate these cheapo IO shields. They're just the worst. I swear, they really suck. I may just forget this IO shield because, you know, who needs IO shield, right? IO shield for... Oh, yes! Come on! Oh! Still satisfying everything you put this thing down. Good. We're all good. It's all good. Okay. Let's go put in this motherboard. I'm going to move forward a little bit. And I just push over the case screws. Alright, let me go grab that. Oh no! Where did the other one go? Crap. This is why you should always get a magnetic parts bin, even though, no, this is metal. Tell me, please, it's somewhere. I'll look for it. I have one case screw though, so I guess that's fine. You know what I should do? I should put these in here. In the little baggy thing. Probably been a smart idea, but I don't know. Anyway, let me go look for... I believe... Let me go ahead and test this outside, because I can't tell which is which. Like, I don't know which one's a motherboard screw and which one's like... I've never actually worked in this case. I've just recommended it to people. It's probably a very bad thing to say, but... you know, it had good reviews on Amazon. It's not screwing in properly, so probably not. You know what? Let me just dump out these screws and see which and dig through which one's which. Well, that goes in perfectly. That's it. Alright, found it. Found the motherboard screw. It's like this tiny one. Let's go ahead and put this one out. Go ahead and tighten the motherboard one. I believe this is a magnetic screwdriver. Hopefully it is, because it is not. Oh, I wish I brought my better screwdriver. Oh well. Always have a magnetic screwdriver, kids. It's just the most useful thing ever. I'm trying to work on this as fast as possible because I just want the system to work, you know? I really just want a new router so bad. Like, my router's had so many issues, and this is a great time because no one's actually using the internet except for my dad. He may just not really need it though, because I think he's just looking at some stuff on my server. Some music stuff. So I don't think he needs the internet connection part, which is fine. But yeah, as for like channel stuff, this is still like a hobby thing to me. Like, I am not like going to like stick onto this channel that much. That's why my video upload is very like, you know, sporadic. Because, you know, I have school and stuff, and I want to make sure I have, you know, I do well in school, because that kind of determines my future. So, like, this channel is just like a side thing, just because I like computers. I like to express it with people. I just, you know, computers have been a thing for me since like, I don't know, it's like second grade. I've loved computers. I've tore down, my first computer I actually tore down was a Dell Optiplex. And, you know, getting to see one of those computers again was just kind of enlightening for me. I just realized something. I cannot mount this hard drive at all. There's like no mounting spots for it. Should we go with the ghetto route? Because I can totally go with the ghetto route. I'm gonna figure that out later. Go ahead and show you what I've done. Went ahead and I put in the motherboard. I'm going to take out the back screws for this case. This case is not that bad. It's just I wish they had the screws more organized. How much would that cost, man? Like, to add... Oh, I see a spot. I can put it right here. No, it's too small. Why is this back cover removable? I mean, this is the most useless back part of a case I've ever seen. I mean, look at that. What can you do back there? Tell me, what can you do back there? You can do literally nothing. Why would they make that removable? I have no idea. But I am going to figure out where to put this damn hard drive. I have an idea, but it requires putting in the power supply. So I guess, you know what we'll do now is I'll put in the network cards. So these are some Intel NICs. I believe they are server NICs. But I got these because I'm guessing they're like better than the one that's on the motherboard. And this motherboard's like a really cheap motherboard. So I'm guessing like the onboard gigabit LAN card is pretty crappy. That's my assumption though, so that's very subjective. But here's the NIC. It's like $25. You can get these things for cheaper, but I wanted to get the Intel one. And I believe this is like a server grade one, so I wanted to get this one because I bet it's more reliable than the one I originally had. And I forgot to take off my PCIe covers, so I hate these PCIe covered pipes. I swear I hate it when a case manufacturer does this. It's the most dumbest thing ever. Oh, I'm like bending the metal when I do that. Like, that should not happen. I just hate it when... Just get out of my life. I like... You know, like especially like the cheapo pre-built brands, they like to do this stuff the most. And when you're trying to like, you know, put stuff in a pre-built system and you have this crap, that's the worst thing ever. I was trying to upgrade a graphics card for one of my neighbors. He had a Acer Aspire T. I believe that's the model design. But we tried to insert the graphics card, right? We go ahead and turn on the system. It doesn't show any video on the integrated graphics, which makes sense because it should show to the external graphics. But whenever we use the external GPU, it doesn't work either. Like it doesn't show anything. And we know the graphics card works. If I insert it into my computer, it works just fine. It boots up. It's a GT610 because the integrated graphics on that computer sucks. And I had the GT610 laying around. From a really old computer that I was building a long time ago when I had no money whatsoever and I needed graphics card. And I couldn't buy used because my mom was just like, nah, get new. Here's my second one. Yeah, I purchased 2 of them. Let's insert this one now. So I you know, these pre-built systems, I just don't get why they're so crappy. I think it had something to do with, like, you know, the BIOS just not really, like, posting, I guess. I think it was posting. No, I knew it was booting up because I looked at it, right, and the keyboard and mouse were showing up, and the number lock thing was showing up, which means, you know, the BIOS was responding. So I was sitting there for hours trying to figure out what the hell was going on. I tried to update the BIOS of the Aspire T. I tried to CMOS cleared. I tried to do 4G decoding. I tried to do a bunch of other settings I tried to go with. None of it worked. I'm going to leave this cable tie on. Just because I think it looks neat. Let's go ahead and put this on here. I don't think I have a plug for both fans. I did not think this through. Oh no, this one's a Molex, so I can just power it via Molex. Okay, that's good. We're fine. We're good. All's well. All is good. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. For a second, I kind of like, what was like, oh crap, I have to leave a fan not working. But no, I have a Molex, so I can just power it via Molex. I don't mind if this thing's loud. My server is loud. I don't care. These Rosewool fans, I've had like the blue fans. They don't have like a whining sound whenever you use them. They have like this kind of monotone type sound. They're just like, but it's not like a. That probably sounded beautiful. And sorry, headphone users, but you know, you tune into this show, you expect very weird things to happen. But I'm gonna go set this computer down on the safest location possible, which is a teeter-tottering computer case box. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. Yeah. I ordered this power supply, and this is the weirdest thing ever. I got the 450 regular one, right? That was my first power supply I got from EVGA. I like EVGA power supplies. They're cheap and they're, you know, really good. How the hell do you open? Oh, I see. It's at the top. Yeah, but I got the 450, right? And that was like $44. This one was also $44. This one was $44 the next time I came around. So like the first time this was like $50-something when I ordered the 450. This one went down to 44, and that one went up to 50. And this one is supposed to be the better one, yet it's cheaper. And this one, the 450 bronze, is cheaper than the 500 watt regular. So this one that has more efficient, higher quality capacitors. I get it's like, I don't know, like 50 watts different, but like, you know, adding 50 watts is like not that hard, okay? It's a tiny bit more expensive, but it's less expensive than going for a bronze power supply. Manual, do not care, because it's a power supply, and I mean, who needs a manual? And if you need the charts, it's like on the sticker. Here it is. Yes, this one has the black cables, as you can see. I mean, I don't really care because I'm not going to be looking into my router and admiring it. Oh, look, silica gel. If anyone knows Jack from Unbox Therapy, he could have this. Jack, I got some silica gel for you. If anyone watches Unbox Therapy, then, you know, I'm with you. Haven't really watched his videos lately. I mean, his videos, I don't know. I like his character. It's a very, very, very interesting character. Wow, this power supply is way different from the other one. Like, way different. This one, it's like, I guess, cheaper in the sense that this grill is not like an external grill, because on the other one, they had an actual grill with the screws that were holding the grill in. This one, it's just kind of like stamped on, if that makes sense. Let me go ahead and undo this. Where did I put this? Okay, I put the screws there. Yeah, but if anyone watches Unbox Therapy, you know, great guy, great guy. His older videos are better, if I'm being honest. I like his older style a little bit better than his newer one. But I mean, his new videos, you know, it's good to watch here and there if you need like a little bit of an enthralling type of, I guess, enjoyment. And check him out. He has like 6 million subscribers. Cool guy. I believe this goes in this way. Okay, I got it, guys. We got it. It's all good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Screws. Power cable. I don't really need these. I have like 1 billion of them. I literally have a storage dedicated to how many. Oh crap. Power. Put these out of the way. Oh. All is good, guys. All is good. Oh, I still have this manual here. No one needs that. I swear, why do they include manuals with these things? The only manual I can understand people reading is the motherboard manual, because that is actually very useful. Oh, what the hell? What? What the hell is going on? Okay, so look over here. This little switch here. It's interfering with the screw hole. Come on! Are you for real? Maybe I can like jimmy it? Hold up, maybe. No, I can't. I can barely do it. Oh, man. Alright, you know what? I'm not even going to mess with this case because it's a new case and I've never had a new case in a long time, so I'm just going to screw it in. Power supply is not going to be in snug. You guys can sue me for that. It just happened. I'm abusing a power supply right now, but not screwing it in properly because the case does not have proper clearance with this power supply. And the thing is, the other EVGA power supply I have does not have the power switch there. It has it in a different location. So this would never happen with the other power supply. The first thing I got into computers was I disassembled a Dell Optiplex all the way through. I took apart the whole computer. And I did some very weird things to it because I was a kid and I was just morbidly curious. So what I would do is I took a milk crate and I zip tied the computer in the milk crate, and the heatsink required the case because it's screwed in past the motherboard to the case. And my innovative solution to fix that was a lot of duct tape and a lot of force. I pushed down that heatsink so hard, and I went hard as I possibly could on that tape, and put as much tension as possible to get a good hold. Even then, the fan still ramped up all the way whenever I turned on the computer, but the computer did not overheat, so I guess that's good. And I really don't like. I know why they do this little 20+4 thing. I just don't like it because it's kind of annoying when you have to insert it in. Ladies. Yes, I do make ladies jokes, don't worry about it. I may become Barnacules Nerdgasm when I grow up, so I don't know. This show has way too many sexual innuendos. It's kind of hilarious. If you guys don't know Barnacules Nerdgasm, he's like a really perverted nerd, if that makes any sense. Like, in all of his videos, you'll see all the sexual innuendos, and it's kind of hilarious. Anyway, I don't really do it that much. I like to do it like here and there. I don't really do it all the time. Like some people, I like to do it extreme, and I'm just like, too much, dude, too much. Barnacules, it's not extreme, if that makes sense. Like, he kind of secretly gets it in there, you know? Sometimes he's very open and he literally says it like it's obvious. But other times, he likes to, hide it in there, you know? Hide it in there. That was weird. I don't know why I did that, but that's kind of like Barnacules' stick. in terms of like his video style. Like the YouTubers I watch Linus, I watch Jay's 2 cents, Barnacle sometimes. I don't really watch him that much, but you know, so here and there I like to look at his channel and see what's he up to. Just like morbidly curious. But let me go ahead and shove everything up here. Yeah, beautiful. I just like to be morbidly curious. Oh yeah, and I came up with a way to mount the hard drive. So the tension of this cable that's going behind this area, I put the hard drive under that. So this cable kind of holding it in. The most ghetto way to do it, but I'm all about that ghetto, so I guess yay me. Let me go and check the video he's doing. One thing about my camera is that it only records 30 minutes at a time. So every 30 minutes, I kind of have to look at the camera and like restart the video because it likes to cut off at 30 minutes. I have no idea why, but yeah. Oh wait, I have all my case screws. Because I have two. Sweet. I don't know how the other one I managed to get there, but yes. Alright, now I have to do front panel headers. The greatest part about building any computer is the front panel. The worst place in existence if you had big hands. That did not work well. If anyone get that reference, that was from SpongeBob. I really hope you got that reference because SpongeBob is a great TV show. Even if you're an adult, you should still watch SpongeBob. It's still a great show, and it kind of makes you relate to being an adult. I don't know if I hooked this up right, but I think I did one thing wrong. This reset switch is really bugging me out right now, so I'm going to move it over. See, this is what sucks about having big hands, is that you really have a hard time working on front panel headers on a computer. Which is why, you know, Asus and all these other brands have been doing these little power supply things where they would go, you know, with these different designs in terms of these little block things where you would put all the stuff on there and then insert it in here. It makes life a lot easier. Beautiful. Okay. I think I got everything good. Yeah, okay. I guess that's it. Wait, no. Oh, wait. Hold up. I almost forgot the Molex. You know, cable management in a case like this is really hard. But as Luke pointed out in a workshop video like a year or two ago, that doesn't really matter. Like the only way he got his computer to suffocate from low air is when he actually took cardboard boxes and started shoving it in every single location he possibly can to restrict airflow. That was the only way he was able to do it. And yeah. So cable management doesn't really matter. I mean, I guess it can look good, but in a case like this, I don't know how you can do it. Like how in the world? Oh wait, I almost forgot the USB. I am an idiot. I told you, you know, when you start to get really good at building computers, you kind of screw up a lot more often because you forget the stupidest things ever. Like Austin Evans, if you ever look at any of his computer builds, every time he always forgets to plug in the computer. He presses the power button, either the power switch is not turned on, or he forgets to plug it in. Very novice mistakes, but you know, we make these mistakes all the time. And I should really just snip this off, but I'm not going to bother to because it's a new case. For some reason it's labeled AAFP instead of like audio, which makes no sense to me, but it looks right, and it has the same, like, you know, missing pole, so also it's in the typical location that they would put this kind of stuff. One surprising thing is, you know, even though this motherboard's $30, is that it has USB 3. Kind of surprising, you know, $30 motherboard, you wouldn't expect it to have USB 3, but it does. There we go. Tuck that in. But this case does not have USB 3. I don't think so. Yeah, it does not. It's a cheapo case, so why would it ever? There we go. Okay, the system's built. Let me go ahead and show you guys the computer. And that hard drive is slipping, so that's how I know I made a terrible mount. But this computer is going to be laying flat the entire time, so I don't think it's going to be a huge deal. And what I may also do is I may just shove the hard drive in here. You know what? I'll do that. I'm sorry I don't have better camera angles. That's just because I don't have more cameras. I wish I had more cameras. If I do, then I would totally do more camera angles for the viewing pleasure. But, you know, I don't. So, that's, and such is life. So, you guys just kind of have to deal with it. I know, boo-hoo sound in the comments. Go ahead, insert all the hate. But, that's just kind of the way it goes, and that's how the way I roll. So, there. That's the computer. The cable management's terrible, but, you know, it's pretty good. I think it did a good job. Let's go ahead and put a side panel, or should I power it on? Let me power it on. Let me grab the power cable. Let me go ahead and steal from the power of our Christmas lights. Because we currently have Christmas lights right now, that's why I'm using this desk. This desk usually just sits in the corner of this garage. But I just don't have my regular fold-out table. Which, if I did, I would have a lot more space. But I don't, so yeah. Power cable. Make sure we're still rolling. I think we have a good amount of time. So go ahead and plug it in. Okay. This is a reference to UXW Bill, if anyone watches that channel on YouTube. If anyone knows UXW Bill, he is a very funny guy with old computers, and you know, people that watch computer stuff, they should always have to know the old stuff to get to the new stuff. That's kind of my belief. So kind of like UXW Bill for that. Smoke test. That's a UXW Bill reference. We got a motherboard LED. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and unwrap the front. Ready? You guys are going to love this part. Ready? You guys ready? Ready? Alright, you guys are going to love this part, as everyone does. There. All good. So now, I have the computer plugged in, as you guys know. I've now undone the power. I've now undone this wrapping. So now it's time to power it on. Oh wait, no, I didn't turn on. Hold on. I'm not gonna do an Austin Evans, guys. I am not going to do an Austin Evans right now. So I want you guys to guess what's wrong with this system. I got it working now. You'll probably notice that this power supply is no longer in the system. So you're probably thinking that this power supply is dead. It is not, actually. This motherboard has one of the strangest issues I've ever had. This power supply works fine, by the way. This motherboard has one of the weirdest issues where when you press the power button, nothing happens. The motherboard's, the light is on. What you have to do is you have to get a certain power supply that has a test switch. And these older Dell power supplies, this is a Dell one, has this test switch to test the system to make sure all the circuitry is working fine. When I press that, the system fans will spin, but when I let go of it, it will turn off. When I was doing my diagnosis, I found if I hold the power button here, then press that, the system will fire on. And it's working fine. I did BIOS tests, I can see it's working fine. I'll get into the PFsense later. You know what? I'm gonna go diagnose this and I'm gonna figure it out and I'll get back here. Because I think I know what's wrong. This motherboard has some weird issue with it. I think I know what it is. So basically I bought this power supply for no reason. Although I guess I can use it for future builds if I need to. It's a cool power supply. I like it. Although I'm kind of sad that I can't use it because it's an 80 plus bronze power supply. And personally, I like to use 80 plus power supplies because I think that they're certified to be more reliable. But the system is a very low power system, so I think it will be fine. I think the system will live, so I'm fine with running it with this power supply, even though how ghettoly it's mounted because the cables are way too short, and also I can't fit it in here because the screws are not standard. So it's going to be a ghetto system, and this happens with every single system I build. Every single system I've ever built, there is something ghetto about it. I've never managed to build a normal system, and with this computer I thought it was going to be a pretty normal basic computer, but no, I get this. So I guess that kind of tells me that I'm never ever going to build a normal computer ever in my life. I'm going to keep building these ghetto systems, which I guess that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this computer set up, and I'm gonna go ahead and install PFsense. The current system that I'm building right now, it's no longer available in stores. You cannot build the system, like the CPU and the motherboard. The CPU isn't available at all. Well, it is, but it's so highly priced that I probably wouldn't even get it. The motherboard, it's also priced a little bit higher. It's like $20 higher. So I would rather you get a different rig. If you guys are thinking about building your own rig, I would suggest that you guys go for AMD's Athlon X4, the 855, 860, something around there. Get that with a cheap motherboard, and everything else you can go for the same, like the case, the power supply. For storage, I would actually go for SSD just to make your PFsense box a little bit faster. And so, if you do stuff like Squid, it's faster. And RAM, I would actually suggest you get more RAM. I suggest minimum 8 gigs. The reason why is because when you start installing packages and stuff on your PFsense box, you really start to pull down a lot of RAM. With my 2 gigs, I get around 50-70% usage, and I'm not even using that many packages. So I do plan to upgrade to 8 gigs, maybe 16, because DDR3 RAM is not that expensive. DDR4 RAM, we have that RAM issue. But if you guys want to think for forward thinking, like modern stuff, and the Athlon X4 is gone by then, you can also splurge on a Ryzen 3 1200 with a A320 motherboard. A320 motherboards are worth like $40. Get a Ryzen 3 1200, very cheap CPU. It's like only $100. It's not that bad with a $40 motherboard, $140, and it's very efficient. It's only 65 watt. My CPU that I'm in my rig is only 25 watt, but 65 watt, it's really not that bad, and you'll be able to run pretty much almost any package on PFsense. And it should be good. It's a quad core, and quad cores are really good for PFsense because once you start installing packages, those are different programs that are running in the background of PFsense. And when you have more threads, those programs can be split between the threads, and it's just easier. So I would definitely suggest that you find a quad core. Any gigahertz, it doesn't really matter what your frequency your CPU is running, as long as you have multi-core, it's pretty much good. When I'm at 1.3 gigahertz is not the issue, it's just because my CPU is a dual core. That's kind of the issue, so I'm kind of thinking of getting the quad core version, which is still available. It's only like 5 in stock though. It's at $40 too, when it used to be at like $30. It's $50. It used to be at 30, 25, 30-ish. So I want to get the quad core one and boost my performance for my server. My router. So I'll leave all of the links for the hardware in the description. I'll give you some recommended builds that you can build with, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Anyway guys, I hope you guys like this build video. I've never done a build video before. I don't know if you guys are interested in computer builds and stuff like that. I don't really do this stuff that often. I don't build computers that often, but you know, when I do, I really do like it, and I thought I would express it with you guys and not just show you guys after the fact. I wanted to take you guys along for the ride. You know, like the video if you liked it, dislike if you dislike it. Leave a comment letting me know, you know, did you like this video, you like this style? I know this video is very long, your attention span is really terrible. I know that from my YouTube studio, but I'll try to make my videos shorter. But yeah, the computer works very shoddily, but it works. So, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. You know, leave a comment, tell me, you know. I read all your comments. I like to do that on my free time, and I'll be reading all of your comments. So go ahead and leave a comment if you have one. And you know, as I said before, don't forget to subscribe. I'll make more videos. I don't promise a release schedule, but I just kind of do it out of random. So you know, randomly you may see a video from me here and there. I won't do it like, you know, fast like LTT, Line Tech Tips, where they shoot a video every day. Probably like once a month or something.